If one truly understood the law of attraction, that when they asked for something, it really was given to them, as if there was a genie standing right in front of them, you wouldn't be very general. If a genie were to come to you right now, you wouldn't say, hey, for my 3 wishes, I want flow, ease, and bliss. No, you would be very specific. But yet, when you become this deliberate creator and you become the creator of your experience, and you understand that the universe is responding to your vibration and you can change your vibration. So when you go about changing your vibration, you hold back. You hold back on your desires. You don't get very specific because it's like no one goes in, no one goes out. Everyone stay where you are because you're very guarded. You see, being guarded is very interesting because when you understand, if you were to really understand the law of the universe like you do, and we think that you know the laws of the universe, and we think not only knowing it, but you understand, you can tell where you are. You can tell which end of the stick that you are on any subject, and you have the really slight and you have that acuity, you have that very nitty gritty understanding of the two ends of the stick and how to be on the absence or the present and how to shift your focus to be on the present. You're very keen on your focus. You know your guidance system. So we're like, have a lot of fun. Now it's time to get specific. You see, when you start to go general and you start to meditate, the value that it gives to you is that it lets you step back and it lets you gain your alignment so you can feel your alignment. So now when you're into the specifics of your moment day to day, then you can tell when you're off and you're more sensitive to your guidance system. That's the true advantage that it gives you. But once you know all this, you can go all in, you can go specific. And a lot of times you don't want to dream that big, because when you dream big, you come to face with the resistance that you don't know how you're going to get there, with the resistance of your shortage mindset. And we're saying is resistance that big of a deal when you're a really good creator like you, who has that acuity, who understands all this, who knows that negative emotion is not a bad thing, negative emotion is guidance, and that no matter what, you're always doing something right, and no matter what, you can't get it right, you can't get it wrong, and you can't get it completed. You're always getting it right, and everything's always working out for you. So why not have fun? Why not enjoy your life? Why not think about your desires? You see, when you understand that you're the creator of your reality, you get guarded because you're like, okay, I'm not gonna think about anything because I don't want to mess anything up. I don't want the unwanted. And so we say, well, you gotta get really good at choosing. Everything really is about this game of choosing. You gotta get really good at choosing. It's like, if life is a buffet, you want to get really good at choosing what you want to eat and what you want to focus on. That's sort of what we're saying. And simply put, the more you think about what you want, the more you'll get what you want. And that's just how law of attraction works. So the more you talk about what you want, the more you get what you want, the more you get that. And so things get very interesting when you're smack dab here, and we're here telling you you're a creator. So why aren't you should go out there and it's like you connect with source energy, and then it's like, then what? You see, this is what's really interesting, because if you talk to the people who are in other groups, they will tell you that source, and they operate under this understanding, is that source is more than humans. And when me being a human or you being a human connects to that source energy, it's like you should be there all the time, because that's the goal. The goal is to go to what's more than me and be that all the time. But what's interesting, and this is so wild, because you can literally see this when you're meditating, when you're in any state of alignment, your source is very general. That's what's really interesting. Source, the power of source, what source feels like, the connection of source is very general. When you talk about why you want everything and you get to the vibrational essence of it, it's all very general. It's not like this for this, I just want it because it's going to feel good. Ultimately, it's all for that reason. Everything that you want, and whether it's a pile of dollars, whether it's a literary empire, anything that you want, when you talk about why you want it and use that pen and paper and you get to the nitty gritty vibrational essence, it's all just to feel good. And fundamentally, humans are selfish. They love feeling good. Everyone can only see out of the eyes through self. And that's a good thing. You really want that. You want to promote that, because everyone has their own guidance system. Everyone has their own way of getting there, and their own intuition or their own messages coming from source. And it's very valuable to them. This guidance system truly is very valuable. So source, that's what's interesting. Source and non-physical energy and infinite intelligence, that which you want to call your soul or your God, it's here, and it's becoming more because of you. You can't discount your existence. You can't discount your human self, because it's so important to the whole mix. You're literally here to push all of non-physical and all that is to the leading edge, to the next. If you knew how badly you want to get into these bodies, you would not always trying to be out of it. Because when you go into these bodies, you were like, yo, we're gonna get in there, we're gonna get there running, and we're gonna get specific really quick. We're gonna have fun quick. We're gonna know what we want right off the bat, because that's what we want. Isn't that interesting? It's like when you go on vacation, like, you're very specific about what you want to do. It's like when you go to the buffet, you're very specific about what you want to eat. You're not just like, oh, put whatever you want on my plate because I don't want to do all the resistance. That's not what we're saying. We're not saying don't deal with resistance. We're not even saying don't think about your desire. This is really interesting, because sometimes it sounds like we're saying like, well, what you want is already in the vortex. It already exists, and you don't have to do anything to get it. It's making its way to you, and you're over here, and you can just enjoy your life and be happy. And whenever you're happy, you're in the receiving mode. Whenever you're not doing that thing, that's resistance. But that's a screwy way of saying it. But when you're just having fun and you're happy, even if it's not about the subject that you're looking for, then you're in the receiving mode of your desire, and it's just going to come into you like an impulse. You're going to be able to receive it. But that doesn't mean that you can't still think about your desire. That doesn't mean that you have to completely abandon your desire. It's like, we can't think about it, because that's effort. Because when we say you don't think about your desire, we're saying that you have to know, you have your guidance system. It's when you think about the desire in this moment, is it going to add resistance, or is it going to add to your allowing? Because it's always one or the other. You see, so what's really interesting is that you're either imagining your desire as you want it to be, or you're looking at it as it is right now. That's really crazy. And that's where we're really talking about the daydream. Fix everything in your mind. Go to your reality. But you know what's interesting about the daydream is that our friends, they don't go all in. They don't go all in the daydreams. They're still very like meek, and they're very like general, because they're so scared of resistance. They're scared of coming face to face with a desire that they're too scared. They're afraid of one, because when you ask for something big, it activates big resistance in you if you have it. But we're like, that's the whole point of the daydream, is that through that the daydream is like you're literally practicing the frequency of it. The daydream is just for the fun. The daydream is for your now moment. It's for the feeling good in the now moment. But feeling good in your now moment is the most productive thing that you could do, whether it's doing something that's fun or whether it is scripting. Do you know what scripting is? Scripting is like being the director. Imagine you're making a movie and you're the screenwriter, and you're writing your life, and you're a character in your story, and you're literally writing your life like it's a story, and you're putting everything you want in it. That's what we're saying about the daydream, is that when you're the one who's fantasizing like your fantasy world, you literally want to go all in. So for example, you're not going to say like, oh, like, when I wake up in the morning, I go to the gym. No, you're not going to say that. You're going to say, yo, I am one of the richest people on this planet. Like, wherever I go, money follows me. I'm so good at finding money. Money just finds so many avenues to me. And what's crazy is that, like, I know the trick. I know the secret to money, because it just keeps coming to me. It's not about effort. It's about your vibration. My vibration on money is crazy. And at first it wasn't like that. But then a little bit started coming, and then I started believing, and then it's pretty much started perpetuating itself because I had evidence. But back when I had no evidence, I had to really use my creative merit, and I really had to script, and I really had to daydream it and imagine and hold it until it was there. That's how you want to use your daydream. You want to feel it. You don't want to just be like, oh, like, like, yeah, people, like, there's some people that like my books, and I write them really fast. It's like, no. I live in my castle, and all my awards are on my wall. People love my books. People think are the best books in the world, because I know things that other people don't. People think I'm the best actress or actor in the world, because I know a lot of things. I know it's not about perfection. I know that people love me because this is a vibrational world. And when I'm acting, when I'm writing from source. I make sure that I'm in the zone when I'm writing and acting, because I'm connected to source, and people love that. They gravitate towards that, because that's what economics is about. It's about that exchange. And I just understand that. I know that. And so I also know in my writing, in whatever I'm doing, it's not about perfection, because I'm not looking for a mark on someone else's chart. I'm not looking for the award that someone else will give me. My award is my inner being. I have that. My inner being's approval. You see, this is how you begin to tell the new story. You have to, and when you're telling the new story, this is a piece of advice or an activity. You write it on a pen, use a pen and paper, get a journal, and to call it your new story, and write every day, and like come up with scenarios, come up with these images of being like, and you want that to be grand. Dream big, because you're gonna tune to that frequency. It's like when you dream big, it's like all the resistance that comes up, it's like you don't want to deal with the resistance. You want to keep tuning to the image and leave the resistance alone, because the resistance is just your guidance. And so that's where all this really starts to get really fun, is the creative mirror. Is being like, yo, like today I've had so much resistance, and it was so fun because I still got to, versus being like, today I was just, nothing good really happened. It was just such an easy day. It was just a boring, because here's the thing, it's boring. It gets boring. This work really gets boring because you think we're telling you just sit, but we're like, no. If you knew how much you were willing to get it wrong when you came to this body, because you knew you never could, you were ravenous. You were having so much fun. You see, when we talk to you, our work isn't to get you to believe that your desire exists in the sense where like it's a reality, because we know that your desire is a reality. If you can't accept that your reality is that your desire is a reality, and it's in the vibrational ethers, and it's a real thing that right now is in its early stages that will mature if you learn to allow it, which is learn to not stamp it with resistance, which is to say, I know I want it, but to get that out of the question, to meditate, to do whatever you can that puts you in that allowing mode, that lets you allow and to hear and to feel the impulses of your inner being. It's all about allowing. Isn't that interesting? It's about allowing you to receive what you've already put in the vortex. It's not about, because we don't need to teach you how to ask. We don't need you to teach you, because when we talk about daydreaming, we're not talking about creating the image, because the universe doesn't know your image. It's not like that at all. The universe knows exactly what you want, but it's about you putting yourself in the receiving mode, because when you're creating images of what you want, it's just fun. Isn't it so fun to talk about what you want? That's the thing, is that like, it's like when you have a song that you really like listen to, like, don't you listen to it over and over again because it's fun? When you have a trip that you're about to go to, don't you want to think about it in your mind because it's fun? That's what we're saying about your desires. When you were younger, you understood this. You're not the engine. You're not. It's like you don't. It's like literally like, imagine there's a car. You don't get under the hood of the car and try to become the engine. You understand that I sit in the car and I tell the car where to go. It's the same thing with the law of attraction. It's like a genie. You tell the genie what you want. You tell the law of attraction what you want, and it gathers everything up for you because the inner being has got you. But you have to learn to receive it. You have to learn how to let it in. And what we're saying is that like you want to learn how to tune everything out, and by tuning everything out, you want to learn how to make your receiving mood stronger. And talking about your desire in a way that feels good, keep talking about it. If it feels good to keep talking about it, and we're telling you right now, if your desire feels good when you talk about it, that means you found the pure desire. And the longer you stay there, the more fun you'll have, the better it feel. And you know what's crazy is that like when you were talking about your desire and you're daydreaming, you're like, yeah, I'm the biggest YouTuber ever, like I'm the biggest actress ever, like I go to the airport and so many people want my autograph, and I always keep a pen in my bag because people are always asking for my number, and the exchanges are always good, they're always powerful, they're always meaningful, they're always good, they always catch me in a good time, I always look good, like, you see how it just keeps going because it's about the details that you like. It's about going right for the jugular and talking about things that you really enjoy. That's what it's all really about. This is daydreaming. It's like craft as because you've lost your imagination. You did because you're such a realist. But we're like, ignore reality is just a translation of vibration. Okay, it's not something that will continue to progress as it is, unless your habit of belief is like that, unless your habit of thought is like that. So we're like, but daydreaming completely puts a stop to all that. Daydreaming is really like telling the story that you want it to be is a zest of your life, because once you have control, once you understand your guidance system, once you understand that what I want is already there and I don't need to create it anymore, it's already done, it's already created, so now I have to put myself in the allowing mode. And when I talk about my desire, that's an enhancement of the allowing mode. That's an enhancement of the satisfaction that I'm already feeling, because in feeling satisfied with where you are right now, you're not trying to change it, you're not trying to do anything for action because it doesn't work. You're literally making the daydream in your mind because it just feels so good and it's just there emotionally. So then, but what's crazy is because we're telling you when you're there, when you script it, when you get that pen and paper, because when you do it in your mind, it can get squirrely and you can't tell. But when you do it on paper, it will feel powerful because you can go from pages and pages and pages because you're just writing it like a screenplay. You're writing it like how you want it to be, like a journal entry. Like it's exactly the way you want it to be. Yeah, it's like it's a buffet, but there's every piece of piece of food that you like. That's what it's like. It's like you're choosing because you're that, and that's what's really interesting about all this is that source is general. That's so like it's like you can't go. Like you don't need to go anywhere to find source. Source will come is here with you right now. Source is literally knocking on your door. Let it in. Let source in because they want to live this life with you. They're not waiting for you on the other side. On the other side, it's like, oh, you didn't come today. You didn't come today. We're mad at you. Source is like, no, we're literally here with you because we're trying to experience this physical arena through your interpretations. And so this leads us all to a really interesting part of the discussion, which is talking about what you want. Really go for the jugular. Go for what you really want. Don't say, oh, like I write books for a living, it's really fun. Say I'm the greatest writer ever, because that's what you really want. And I get so many words. It's like when people think about leading edge writers, they think about me. They think about me because that's who I am, and they love it. And you see how like it's about creating, like telling the story the way that you want it, even if that means it causes resistance in you, because it's all just for the fun in the moment. And we're telling you, when you feel good in this now moment, you feel yourself getting closer to it because your guidance is telling you, hey, these thoughts are working. You're going closer. You're going in the right direction. But it's not about getting there. It's not about the object. It's about how you feel. When it's only about how you feel and you're not like the object, it will give you resistance. It will add resistance to the mix because it's not here right now. You're like, okay, when is it gonna come? Let me be realistic. And so you ask yourself questions that you don't have answers to. That's resistance. But when you're just like, oh, this feels good, I'm gonna stay here because I found the pure desire. That's what genius is. Genius is someone who's a genius is someone who just focused on one subject or just focused on something until it grew, until they could see it, and then it would just propagate itself. Because when there's evidence of something, you don't have to work on your belief for it. You already see it. So it's like, cool. It's like, yeah, I can breathe because I do it all the time. Yeah, I can drink water because there's water always available, because you don't have a doubt about these subjects. And that's how many of us, everything will become. But right now you have to script it into being. You have to daydream into being, not because it doesn't exist, but because when you're scripting it, you're practicing the receiving. When you're putting yourself more deeper in the receiving, when you're practicing, you're making it stronger. And the impulses come, it's like you're on the right path because you understand all this. You just know the difference. You have guidance, so you can go out there and you can really have fun, because when you have a guide, because when there's a lot of people, a lot of great teachers on here, this platform alone, and just everywhere. We're all pretty much talking about the same thing, which is how to have a better life, and we get that. But when someone doesn't talk about emotions, and they can't really give you anything that really you can work with, because when they just give you theory, but we give you emotions, right? Like, yo, like, your emotions are a guidance system, so you can literally use them. Because we're telling you, like, anyone who ever talks to you, like, use your guidance system, be like, is this true? Compare it against how your inner being feels, because that's your source energy, that's your guidance system. That's the only metric of success that you truly have, how good or how close or how not close you feel to source. Because your source, unless you're in a pattern, you're thinking something that's thwarting your connection right now, pinching yourself off from it. And all that to say, you're all doing great. You're all doing so good, and what you want is so close. You're on the brink of it, but just have more fun, get more crazy out there. We want you to be ravenous about this life to the point where you're just like, yo, there's so much resistance everywhere, but I'm not giving up my desire. The resistance is chill, because I'm not giving up my desire, because resistance isn't scaring me anymore.